The smartest person in the room usually isn't the one talking the most. They're watching, listening, connecting patterns nobody else can see. Most people believe intelligence is something you're born with. Batman believed something different. He believed intelligence could be trained, one decision at a time. And that single belief changed everything. Why do intelligent people stay calm while everyone else panics? Why do some people notice opportunities that everyone else walks right past? Why do emotional people keep making the same bad decisions over and over again? What if intelligence isn't talent, but a system? A system you can build, piece by piece, until your mind becomes something most people can't compete with. By the end of this video, you will understand the complete framework Batman used to think differently from everyone around him. Not fiction. Psychology. Let's begin. Most people spend their entire lives collecting information. They read, they scroll, they consume, but very few people ever learn how to think. Batman didn't become extraordinary because he knew more facts than everyone else. He became extraordinary because he processed information differently. While others reacted, he observed. While others assumed, he questioned. While others let emotion drive the car, he stayed in control of the wheel. This is the Batman method. 7 principles. 1. Transformation. And the final principle is the one that separates people who think average thoughts from people who think like strategists. Stay until the end. It changes how you see your own mind. Think before you speak. Here's something most people never notice about themselves. They react before they understand. Someone says something offensive, and within half a second, a reply is already forming. No processing. No pause. Just reaction. Intelligent people operate on a completely different clock. They observe first. They let a room finish speaking before they decide what it means. This isn't shyness, it isn't weakness, it's control. Psychologists call this response flexibility, the gap between a stimulus and your reaction to it. Most people have almost no gap at all. Highly intelligent people train that gap deliberately. They widen it. Inside that widened gap lives everything that matters. Pattern recognition. Emotional restraint. Real listening instead of waiting for your turn to talk. Watch how the sharpest people in any room behave. They ask more questions than they answer. They let silence do work that words can't. Because silence forces other people to reveal themselves. This is exactly why Batman rarely speaks first in a confrontation. He isn't slow, he's collecting data. Every gesture, every hesitation, every flicker of fear in another person's eyes becomes information he can use. While his enemies are busy talking, he's already 3 moves ahead. But observation alone isn't enough. Because even the most observant mind can be destroyed by a single, uncontrolled emotion. And that's the next lesson. Control your emotions before your decisions. Strong emotions create weak decisions. This single sentence explains almost every regret you've ever had. The angry email you sent, the argument you escalated, the opportunity you burned because you couldn't wait 5 more minutes to respond calmly. Neuroscience shows something fascinating here. When emotional intensity spikes, activity in the brain's rational decision-making region, the prefrontal cortex, actually decreases. In simple terms, the angrier or more anxious you become, the less intelligent your brain is capable of behaving. You are not less smart in those moments. You are temporarily hijacked. Emotionally intelligent people understand this hijacking, and they build systems to interrupt it. They delay their response. They separate the feeling from the decision. They ask one simple but powerful question before acting. Is this the version of me that should be deciding right now? This is not about suppressing emotion. Suppression backfires. It's about sequencing. Feel it, name it, then decide once the storm has passed. This is precisely why Batman remains unnervingly calm during chaos. It isn't the absence of fear or anger. It's the refusal to let fear or anger hold the decision-making pen. He feels everything. He simply doesn't let it drive. Self-awareness is the foundation of emotional intelligence. But there's a second layer most people skip entirely: awareness of the information itself, because emotional control means nothing if the thoughts filling your calm mind are still wrong. Question everything average people accept information the moment it's presented to them. Intelligent people investigate it. This is the difference between a consumer of ideas and a thinker. Cognitive psychologists describe something called confirmation bias. Your brain naturally searches for information that agrees with what you already believe and quietly ignores everything that challenges it. This bias feels like intelligence. It is actually the opposite. It's mental laziness disguised as certainty. Truly sharp minds do something uncomfortable. They actively search for reasons they might be wrong. They ask, where did this belief come from? Who benefits if I believe this? What would change my mind? Most people never ask these questions about their own opinions. They defend beliefs the same way they defend their name. But beliefs aren't identity, they're tools, and tools should be replaced the moment a better one appears. This is why elite thinkers seem so hard to manipulate. They've already questioned the manipulation before it arrives. Batman functions as a detective long before he functions as a fighter. He never accepts the first explanation. He assumes every scene, every story, every alibi is incomplete until proven otherwise. That single habit, refusing to accept things at face value, is one of the rarest forms of intelligence that exists. But questioning the world outside you means nothing if your own mind can't hold a single thought for more than 10 seconds. And that brings us to the skill almost everyone has lost. Master deep focus. A distracted mind cannot become an intelligent mind. This is not motivational language. This is neuroscience. Every time your attention splits between a notification, a thought, a random impulse to check your phone, your brain pays a cost called attention residue. Part of your focus stays behind on the previous task. Do this enough times throughout a single day, and your mind never fully arrives anywhere. You're present everywhere, and powerful nowhere. Deep, uninterrupted focus is one of the most valuable and increasingly rare skills a human being can develop. It's how complex patterns get noticed. It's how difficult problems get solved. It's how someone studies a subject not for 5 scattered minutes, but for the sustained hours required to actually master it. Intelligent people protect their attention the way most people protect their money. They treat distraction as a thief. Because it is. This is why Batman disappears for hours, studying, training, preparing, long before the world ever sees the result. The Batcave isn't a hideout. It's a focus chamber, a space built entirely to remove distraction so the mind can go deep enough to see what others miss. Deep focus builds knowledge. But knowledge about subjects only takes you so far. The rarest form of intelligence isn't understanding books. It's understanding people. Study people, not just books. Here's an uncomfortable truth. You can memorize every fact in the world and still be easy to deceive. Because facts don't run your life. People do. Understanding human behavior, why people lie, why people hesitate, why people say one thing and do another, is one of the highest forms of intelligence a person can develop. This is called social intelligence, and it's built the same way any other skill is built, through deliberate observation. Watch body language before you listen to words. Notice when someone's tone shifts. Notice what people avoid talking about, because avoidance often reveals more than speech. Motives matter more than statements. Every person is quietly asking themselves one question in every interaction: what does this get me? It's not cynical to notice this, it's simply honest. And once you start observing motive instead of just words, manipulation becomes almost impossible to use against you. This is the core of why Batman is considered the world's greatest detective. He doesn't just examine crime scenes, he studies people, their habits, their fears, their patterns. He understands criminals so completely that he can often predict their next move before they've decided it themselves. That is not intuition. That is applied psychology, trained relentlessly over time. But understanding people is only useful if it improves the choices you make. And this is where everything comes together. Make better decisions. Your life, right now, in this exact moment, is the sum of every decision you've made until today. Not your intentions, not your potential, your decisions. Intelligence isn't measured by how much someone knows. It's measured by the quality of the decisions that knowledge produces. Highly intelligent people think in decades, while most people think in days. They ask a simple but rarely used question: will I be proud of this choice a year from now? This single filter eliminates most impulsive decisions instantly. They evaluate risk before reward. Not because they're afraid, but because reckless decisions eventually catch up with everyone. They practice delayed gratification. The famous marshmallow studies on self-control revealed something powerful. Children who could delay a small reward for a larger one later consistently showed better outcomes years afterward. The lesson scales into adulthood perfectly. The ability to wait, to resist the small immediate reward for a greater long-term outcome, is one of the strongest predictors of success that psychology has ever measured. Batman never fights the first battle in front of him. He fights the war 3 steps ahead. Every decision he makes is filtered through consequence, not emotion. That is strategic thinking. And strategic thinking can be trained by anyone willing to slow down enough to practice it. Start small. Before your next major decision, write down 3 possible outcomes, not just the one you're hoping for, the one you're avoiding, the one you haven't even considered yet. This single exercise forces your brain out of emotional tunnel vision and into genuine analysis. Over time, this becomes automatic. You stop reacting to your circumstances and start directing them. That shift from reacting to directing is the exact moment someone becomes dangerous in the way this video is describing. Not dangerous to others, dangerous to their own limitations. But there's one final principle, the one that ties every previous lesson together, the one that separates people who improve for a few weeks from people who transform permanently. Build a mind that never stops learning. Here is the truth almost nobody wants to hear. You are never finished. Highly intelligent people never believe they've learned enough. The moment someone feels fully knowledgeable, their growth quietly stops. Batman never stopped training, never stopped studying, never stopped refining the very way he thought. Not because he lacked confidence, but because he understood something most people never accept. Mastery isn't a destination, it's a direction. Picture the version of you that fully absorbs everything in this video. Calm under pressure because you no longer let emotion make your decisions. Observant because you've trained yourself to notice what others miss. Patient, because you understand that the best decisions rarely arrive quickly. Difficult to manipulate because you question everything before you accept it. Strategic, because you think in years, not minutes. That person isn't fictional. That person is simply someone who decided to train their mind, the same way an athlete trains their body. Batman never became dangerous because of his strength. He became dangerous because he understood people, understood himself, and made better decisions than almost everyone around him. Real intelligence isn't about knowing everything. It's about thinking clearly when everyone else is controlled by emotion. The most dangerous mind isn't the loudest one in the room. It's the one that stays calm, keeps learning, and never stops thinking. That's the Batman method. If today you're choosing to train your mind instead of your ego, comment 4 words: I think before action. Not for this channel, for yourself. Because every great strategist began by learning how to think.